funny guy from Mad TV and The Replacements. I personally fell in love watching you as the spokesman for 7-Up, and then on the flip side of things, Sleepy Hollow on Fox, and now blistering the television screen near you on STARZ adaptation of American Gods starting on April 30th with Ian McShane, Jonathan Tucker we've had on this show, and now you, Orlando Jones. Good to see you here on the program.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, this is some intense material that's coming on STARZ at the end of the month, and for the radio audience, we just showed a clip on the TV audience of your character. You want to just explain for those who might not be familiar with American Gods what you're doing, because I know you love particularly this source material.
Oh, dude, it's amazing.
And you wanted this gig in the world.
Wanted this gig.
Yeah,
I did. Look, American Gods is just an amazing story. It sort of tells the story of all of our journeys to the Americas. And Neil Gaiman, who wrote American Gods, is obviously a Brit, but he came here as an immigrant and sort of wrote about his own experience as an immigrant and then started researching other people's experiences. So I play a character named as Anansi, and Anansi has been the spider god. He came out of Ghana, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and has been a part of that sort of history through the Middle Passage, spread throughout the United States. So I've been reading stories about the trickster god, spider Anansi, and then Neil Gaiman wrote about that part of the African-American coming to America's experience based on that character.
Yeah, I mean, in the scene that we just saw, I was unfamiliar with the character.
Yeah.
And then to see you, in a very not safe for work way, start a fire on the ship and then turn into a spider with a spider head at the end.
Yes.
I kind of was wondering what gives, to be honest with you.
Anansi.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering what gives.
I used to hear stories about Anansi when I was a kid because his whole thing was he used his cunning. So he's trying to get all the stories in the world from the sky god. And the sky god's like, look, capture a leopard, a lion, a crocodile, come back, I'll give you the stories. Now get out of here, spider. And the spider goes and talks these three animals into being captured and delivers them and wins the stories of the world.
So, and now you grew up around baseball, right?
Baseball, football, basketball.
Now your name Orlando comes from?
Orlando Cepeda.
Who I mentioned in our old Gen Stat in the last hour.
You did?
Yes, I did. Orlando Cepeda, because Bryce Harper homered yesterday off of Julio Teheran of the Braves. It was his 7th career home run, and the only person who's got more career home runs before turning age 25 against a specific pitcher was Orlando Cepeda.
And he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Why were you named after Orlando Cepeda?
My father played in the Phillies organization. So professional sports is sort of the family business. Every male in my family played professional sports.
Like who?
So,
like who else?
So
what else you got?
So the Dolphins are around. I think the Bucks, the Chargers. My dad was in the Phillies organizations. All my uncles. That's just football and baseball, the primary sports. And then I was going to be, a basketball player, All-American basketball player. And I said I was coming to California, and my family held a meeting. Like my uncles were like, be at the house at 7 o'clock. And I literally walked in the door. My uncle's like sitting there waiting on me. He's like, your daddy said you're going to California. Your daddy said you want to be an actor. That's what your daddy said. What I want to know is there something you need to tell us before you go? What? And they wanted to know if I was gay. They were like, why else would somebody go to California to be an actor? In their mind. So my Uncle Larry, his really high voice says, he goes, well, mostly what our concern is we want to make sure you ain't a diabetic who got sugar in their tank. It's like, what? And we have an uncle who's very gay and by far the most prolific athlete amongst all of them, and he's knocked out every one of them with one punch. Every one of them. So all you do is mention his name. Hey, I don't need to call Uncle over here, do you? Ain't no need for that. No need for that. And you're kind of out of that madness. But they did that to me. That was true.
And you wound up in California.
I went to California to be ACA. I followed the wrong path.
Well, a heck of an ACA, to use the phrase. How did you wind up on Mad TV? How did that happen?
I was a huge fan of Mad Magazine, man. As a kid.
Yeah,
like
who wasn't? Sure.
Yeah, Spy versus Spy and the like. And
that's right.
I got a call that, there was this cattle call audition for Mad TV, and I could show up and audition, but because I wasn't a comedian, nobody knew me as that. I was a writer at the time. I was a sitcom writer. So I showed up with 130 people and a cattle call audition to try and get one job. And that was to be on Mad TV, and I got the gig.
And you got the gig.
I got the gig. It's crazy.
Who else were you with at the time?
Dude, like anybody, I wasn't a stand-up, so I didn't come up that way. I came from writing sitcoms, so it was just about anybody who you could name. You know, you'd look up and be like, oh, there's one of the Wayans. Oh, awesome. Oh, wow, there's Corey Hogan. It was just like, you know, comedians I knew around Kevin Hart. Oh, there, you know, so whomever was auditioning at that time was sort of the thing. And I looked up, Quincy Jones chose me, and I got a job on Mad TV.
Wait a minute. He was the one specifically?
Quincy Jones was literally the person. The way I got the job was I asked Quincy, you know, you could do your readed material, and I said, are there any impersonations you would like to see?
You asked that of Quincy Jones?
Yes. And he yelled, East Coast rapper. And I was like, yes, son. Boy, to the crescent moon and the STARZ, B. And he was like, okay, West Coast rapper. And he just started, guy who started, he was just throwing out stuff. And then he started giggling. He was laughing. So, and he was like, this kid's hilarious. So, him.
Quincy Jones himself.
Wow, that's awesome.
Quincy, that's how that worked out.
Huh.
It was a crazy, crazy time in my life.
And so when was the last time you did like your Cube impersonation or something like that? When was the last time? Because he was here in that chair 2 days ago.
Oh, was he?
Yes, talking about his Big Three basketball league where he's got Iverson coaching and playing and things like that.
Yes, Ice Cube loves basketball.
He does.
He's like a crazy basketball fan. I played with him once. We went to the we go around to the tours and tour military bases and play together. But he tries to coach you during the game when he's bringing the ball up.
Like what do you mean?
So he's basically the guy that's like, Lando, I'm gonna need you to back cut, son. I need you to make some movement happen out here. What is going on? I'm playing in a charity game. Like, you real aggressive. Like, got me grabbing my nipples. That is not right. I don't normally do this. This is not a normal placement for my hand. I was like, what is happening here? So I play ball with him. The worst, however, was playing in the NBA Entertainment League. Like that, you should just go to the games for fun. Like, you ain't lived until you seen Frankie Nunez try and guard somebody like Will Ferrell, like way outside the three-point line, like his life depends on it with the hands out.
Yeah.
And you're screaming, post him, and Will's looking at you like, nah, I'm a crossover. I'm finna jank him out his shoes. I'm like, no, son, that's not what we should do right now. Go with me on this one.
I want to take a quick 60-second break and spend a few more minutes with you, including today is the anniversary of Michael Jordan's 63-point playoff performance in the old Boston
Knicks?
Garden, right? Was
NBA record against the Celtics.
against the old Boston Garden.
Celtics.
Yeah, no, those were just some other tormenting games against the Knicks that you're thinking of. Because I'd love to get a Jordan story from you from really, truly back in the day. Orlando Jones is here on the Rich Eisen Show. Your phone calls as well here as we get you set for the final half hour of our show before we're back on the air here from the Rich Eisen Show on the NFL Network schedule release show later on. Welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show. A few more minutes here in studio with one of the stars of STARZ American Gods that starts on April 30th. 8-episode season 1 begins on that night with Orlando Jones here on the show. And we noticed, again, it's the what anniversary? How long ago was it?
31 years ago.
31?
31 years ago that Jordan scored 63 in the Garden. Record still
The
stands.
old Boston Garden.
Did not attempt a single three-pointer to score 63.
Unbelievable.
That's crazy.
Now, when did you meet Jordan? That one time that you just did a commercial with him? That's it?
No, I also saw him. We went and hung out down at the Bahamas when the Atlantis Resort first opened.
Okay.
So we went and did that, which pretty much meant we were in the casino.
That's sort of like his Eastern White House
Yes,
in a way.
exactly.
That's where he likes to.
Yeah.
Jordan likes to spend.
I went to see the king walk around.
I bet you did. Now, you were in a McDonald's commercial with him.
Yes. Yeah. I
Which
wrote
one was this?
It was for the McJordan special, which was the sandwich that he had at the time at McDonald's.
Okay.
So, I played the kid who, was talking about having met Michael Jordan. Nobody believes me. And then he walks in and, it's like, see?
So you guys shot your whole thing, and then Jordan just strolled in his sweater for about 5 minutes, said that line, and then hit the road.
Exactly right. King came in, he waved. And everything. He kind of made eye contact. There was moisture in the room, from men and women alike. He left.
And then he left. And that was the end of that.
That was the end of that. And then he became a fan based on my Mad TV stuff.
Yes.
And then I wound up at the Bahamas with him. He was like, come down to the Bahamas and hang out. So I
Come
went,
on.
and then we gambled and hung out.
What if we told the 19-year-old version of you that something like that would happen one day?
Yeah, he wouldn't have believed you. I don't think. It was a crazy experience. My life has been
It's been incredible.
yeah.
And the replacements with Gene Hackman, what was that like on the set with
First of all,
Gene Hackman?
the rule was don't hit Keanu. That was pretty much the
That was the rule.
Yeah, because
on
he
the
had just finished The Matrix. Then nobody knew who I was. They were lighting me up like a Christmas tree. It was like, bap, and it was a bunch of guys who, of course, had come out of the NFL or were trying to get in and were coming out of training camp.
Yeah.
So we went to Baltimore Ravens training camp. That's pretty much how that movie started.
No kidding. That's right.
So yeah, and Hackman was amazing. He was amazing.
I assume there's a rule: don't touch Gene, also, right?
Yeah, but he wasn't running around on the field.
No, but I just mean anywhere, just in
you weren't
because he's a big man.
I tortured Gene. This is how I met Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman did a close up because you shot Gene out first, and he went home.
Sort of like Jordan.
Yes, exactly. The king left. The king came in. The king left. So the king comes in.
Yeah.
And it's his first day there. It's my first day. It's Gene Hackman, and I see this thing, and I don't know why, but I know he's getting ready to go. And I come over and I go, "Are you gonna do it like that?" Because I mean, it's none of my business, but I might heard people talk. I probably shouldn't tell you. Anyway, do what you want to do. And I walk away. So he says nothing. He has no reaction whatsoever. I'm like giggling. He's not laughing at all. I'm like, wow, Gene Hackman hates me. I'm going to get fired off this job. This was a bad idea. He waits till they turn around onto me. He doesn't leave. As soon as I finish my first take, he says, I heard they got Jimmy Walker on a plane. Good luck, kid. He walks out. That's how I met Gene.
No way!
Absolutely. Best line ever. And we became fast friends. Next 4 months, I sat around hanging out with that fool. I love him. He's an amazing man.
What a great line.
Dude, it killed me. I mean, he's the best. I have such fond memories of him.
Oh, my gosh. Madden and Summerall were in that movie,
Yeah,
too. Did you get a
absolutely.
chance to meet those guys?
Of course. I photo opped and fangirl. There's plenty of pictures of me like with Madden.
With Madden?
Yeah, man. Absolutely. It was incredible.
What an experience.
It was
Must have
fun.
been a lot of fun. And now, again, American Gods on STARZ. For you to be starring in something that you were a fanboy of and be able to actually be in, it's pretty cool.
It's been my life. I mean, I feel like I'm, charmed and blessed, for a country kid from the States, who, grew up in less than favorable, and then becoming more favorable circumstances. My parents were certainly hardworking and lovely. I was blessed to have them, and I've lived a charmed life. I'm grateful.
Now, from Alabama, do you have to choose between Auburn and Alabama?
Oh, yes, you do.
Okay, and so which one are you?
You must go Roll Tide. There's really no other option.
Okay.
It's just the way it is.
That's the way it is for you.
Yeah, I ain't trying to get shot by my granddad. I don't need that in my life. Sports is serious business. If I came in and said, Auburn, you don't even understand the level of problems I would have in my
Try and
life.
explain it to me.
Let me put it to you like this. People talk loud in my house, so even if you're right next to them, the vocal tone is generally like, understand you trying to be a tiger these days. Yeah, that's what you think. You and Tony can kiss my behind. You understand that, don't you? And let me tell you something about Auburn. And then suddenly you're getting cussed out about the city of Auburn because he had a bad time there with some girl he met in the pool hall. Like, this is the type of stuff that happens in my family, okay? Like, you hear things like, I will never forget when Al-Qaeda first became a big thing and people were like scared of my Al-Qaeda. My uncle said, I know all them Qaedas. Al, P-Dub, Michael. They just mad because they think I got their sister pregnant. Baby don't even look like me that much. You tell them Qaedas. Like, what emotional experience are you having right now, Unc? But that's my house. That's that type of crazy.
And that's the difference between Alabama and Auburn.
That's absolutely.
Essentially.
The baby don't even look like me that much. That's the difference. They're uppity over there in Auburn.
At the Orlando Jones on Twitter. Check out American Gods on STARZ starting on April 30th. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having
Come
me,
back
Rich.
anytime, man.
I will.
Come back,
Thank
and we're
you.
big fans.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.